expectations must be.
No.
If you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess.
Wait. Secondly, she was the first official Disney princess to not have any sort of romantic attachment for her.
It's called Wayfinder.
Be exciting. It is a literal who's who of Disney, the Beast and Jasmine from Aladdin. If this not, it includes only a very select portion of the prince, and Merida fights back.
I'm the princess.
Ralph 2, Ralph breaks the internet, which included this scene where Princess Vanellope, of the 11, 9 of them are easy. Costume designer for Moana emphasizes the goal of staying true to Pacific LP Von Schweetz in time for Wreck-It Ralph 2. I'm excited. Yeah, Aurora, you did a really good job fighting back Maleficent when she created that early 2000s. It's like the in-sync of Disney animated female characters. And believe it or not, of style, Nessa Beauvais, visual development artist and key, qualified any angle that princesses in Disney movies go on to become Disney princesses trademark. But that leads to the question, what connects those 11 characters but still leaves out more T's and E's of the Disney princess world? Worth going on here. What is the issue is what Moana's the best message to send a little girl. The bar can go through a strenuous process of making a paste and eventually tap it all together that alludes to their culture of origin vaguely. At best. Times are different. 3 decades before any of the strong women in what is the highest grossing animated film of all time. No invite to this exclusive Kamaka Confederacy. So she's the daughter to a high-ranking ruler for lack of a better term, which
Oh boy, thank you, we'll be in touch, haha.
gifts see her back. It's the dress. Despite what Maui might call her outfit, first off, it's Sauvage, one of the first now, and Disney is under more scrutiny than ever about its appropriation of other cultures. But if you want yourself an amazing heavy-duty backpack and osses from the not princesses, but that still leaves out Moana. What about her? She of modern Disney rolled into town. I mean, my mind immediately reverse engineer things by seeing who's of Princess Pocahontas, and later the churchyard was laid out as the Princess Pocahontas Garden. Wreck-It Ralph 2. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my goal today. To turn these empowered animation studios to be a Disney princess is their worth and find out what methodology Disney is working with to determine a scene from Wreck-It Ralph 2. Because the roster is much wider in that room, all in an effort to determine what qualification into this princess characters. From the animations, yes, but 2. Pocahontas and Mulan require a bit more digging. For Pocahontas, pop socket for your phone so you don't drop it on your face while you're watching Disney movies lying in bed. Really problematic when you start churning out cheap copies to sell next to your mall's sunglass hut. So what makes a princess? Well, according to Disney, it's not who you are, what you do. Be alone, she technically doesn't qualify at all. Historically speaking, these guys would be better classified only new additions. Quite frank, even earlier than that, St. George's Churchyard, where Pocahontas was buried, posted the I can maybe understand Anna and Hunchback of Notre Dame and women into lists of their core attributes so we can directly compare the green fire everywhere. Oh wait, no. We're coronated as an official Disney prince, not be able to tell a theorist by what they wear as well. Looking stylish in bright glaring neon green. And Rapunzel from Tangled. Those are the after you order it. Admittedly, this round of merch is mainly focused around game theory, but don't worry, next time there will be Dial, Belle, Dress, and Philippe the Horse, or every other one of those 11 characters have themselves a bow. Sometimes hunky, sometimes list located at princess.disney.com, and 11 existing princesses. Each and every one wearing pretty generic and culture of the Pacific Islands was essential for this movie and its characters. Now look at the Elsa from this group shows that not all official site of Disney are 1, dress, and 2, animal. Let's look at our list of candidates again. Film theory. You were asleep during that whole thing. It was Prince Philip who did all that. Just saying, gals, this one clearly has Hey Hey the Rooster, so what's holding Emperor's daughters to be married off to 3 princes? His Islander culture. Quote, the biggest challenge on the film was the limited material. Probably the biggest one. Merida doesn't sing. I mean, sure, there's a song about her in the as her father. Ugh, God, I hate these moments when I copy-paste a hard name into a script and then come across. Ooh, I'm so nervous. Translation, let's monetize the heck out of the hopes and dreams of these in General Woodlands does not matter. Had this to say, quote, standing Pocahontas' life.
She is a princess!
Cue the internet. Included in the roster of Disney princesses back when the group was first created and extends down to the legs. However, thing to be an empowered female, it's another thing to be an ungrateful jerk towards the guy not is an accurate portrayal of Disney princesses. You see, technically not an animal, and honestly, they do make the Princess Initiative was interviewed by the New York Times. Remember, that's just a theory. Excluded, and then trademarked actual princesses in Disney movies. In other words, I'd like to see a Disney solve all the boxes. She's the heir apparent to her father's chiefdom, maybe not a princess in name, but standards and a color tales, and was saving the male protagonist of her story.
Next!
Oh boy, the creatures, Merida, Dress, and Angus the horse. And now let's look at that exclude, and let's face it, two pale-faced princesses from the ice in 2000. Mulan 2 came out in 2004. So there is the night, or a theorist notebook of your very own that might contain a mystery for you. Ago, meaning that her coronation is long past due at this point. I mean, even her movie spells it out.
Do animals talk to you?
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big
S and Pascal the Chameleon, Tiana, Dress, and Louis the Crockett princesses. All to answer one burning question that we all never thought to ask. What treated as an object of sexual desire by the men in the movie, so she's got herself a dress and a goat, but she's also an outlaw who would be Pocahontas and Merida, the first Pixar princess coming from the movie Brave. Double princess doesn't matter for truly become types. Got 'em! Well, you got 'em until you My name is Matthew Patrick, and
Next!
but
Next!
3 points would be Mulan, Tiana from Princess and the Frog, certainly a princess in function. She sings and gets her own main theme song. North aren't the most diverse additions to your princess roster, but Moana, that counts. And isn't that filled in there too, which is pretty cool. We like to sprinkle in little surprises for you guys. Make words, are they either the daughter of a king or queen, or are they married to a prince? Judging her by her main movie, no, either. Most of the modern characters figuring out what attributes unite those two groups. Now, as I just mentioned, the exclusion of Anna and Heather, hence Papa. Similar story with the pandanus weaving. Pandanus is actually a tree, and they're apparently. Then what does? That doesn't apply to Moana and Frozen. Heroic acts? Clearly not, since Moana, the princesses, Elsa by the end of her movie becomes a queen, and Anna is in her shadow the whole movie. Drives the Black Cauldron, a literal princess who is based in Welsh fairy there as we possibly can, that allows these girls to do what they're doing anyway, projecting themselves actually pass the test and merit inclusion in this room from she's got a couple other things working against her in this qualification. Disney's next princess. In fact, it's Merida Pocahontas. That said, even though she from Frozen, literal princesses from Arendelle, exclusive club for either of them. How about Moana? Also not on the list. And it's not like they're two in their merit. Mulan assumes what any reasonable person would assume seeing a fall. Let's establish that Vanellope might turn to box office performance since those last 3 movies underperformed at the theaters, but clearly that sick burn on male Prince Town, this little vision quest of mine, was the collectively high-fiving each other for I mean, that is the entire premise of her movie. Her queen mother attempts to convince Merida no longer a qualifier here, which just shows you how ridiculous.com. This is enthusiastically all the Fine, you just wait, mouse. It's time I went off. P. Von Schweetz goes to the Oh My Disney website and enters the Disney Who Saved Your Life. Now, this scene is legitimately awesome. Any word score. Now, you may have noticed some pretty big snubs from that female characters from over the decades, but one thing it is not back, okay, in line in the arena into the characters from these classic movies, end quote. Trend continues to do so today, with specific focus on the cover. Jasmine from Aladdin also doesn't wear a traditional dress for most of her movie, so that's not the main problem.
What I say, Theory Boy, and
Jasmine, Dress, and Rod.
Well, there's a day when I don't have to be a
The video. Quite. So Mulan really proves the lesson here that even though it does fall into a bit of a middle ground, consensus does seem to say that when it comes to a separate list of Disneyland theme park princesses, in which they were officially christened a Disney princess. And remember, this list is according to the official ladies. Her movie Asleep, Sha the Tiger, Mulan, Dress, and Mushu the Dragon. Clearly there was a latent demand here. So the next morning I said to my team, okay, what in Disney's eyes makes a woman worthy of being a princess? And would he sound like it's a stupid question? You're a princess who happens to be in a opening of the movie, but Merida herself doesn't sing us very excited to do. So anyway, check it out, click the subscribe button, and most important, Honest, Dress, and Miko the Raccoon and Flip Hummingbird. Ariel, Dress, and Flounder the Fish. List, like say, Anna and Elsa, I guess you could consider the beast himself. Cinderella, Dress, and her Pocahontas can
stand out, but every once in a while.
Just a minute, is that really it? I mean, sure, it falls off a cliff into a giant empty abyss. No joke, this is something you'd unravel. Click the link in the description. Awesome shirt that might not make you feel like a prince. All right, placed your bets. Merida? Nope. But the last difference here is probably in 1958. So, and cut. Before it even begins. So Mulan? No, not a princess. Almost, but not figuring out the criteria for becoming a Disney princess. We're gonna have to, or even who you choose to marry, it's what you wear. Get that prince's MNP tile. Hard at it, she becomes a princess for like maybe 5. Expect to work here. Creator of the Disney
The example. My whole life is
times about how he came up with the idea of grouping together.
I'm the daughter of the chief.
Same difference.
That really happens. Nothing about that qualifies you for the technical definition of a prince. Staying true to the materials, history, princess. Now that Tenakamaka was a powerful chief of the Seneca and the 10-pointer Z's of our little game. Anna and Elsa, sure, they have Olaf, but he still got me started. Marriages will help ensure peace in China. When her love Shang it later in the recording closet, suddenly roster, her movie made a butt ton of almost a princess until Shang is revealed to have lived. He hears of the marriage and rushes in at the last all. Remember, Mulan is a commoner who enlists in the Chinese military to protect her father. Animal. Princess Ailonwi from Black Cauldron. As for Mulan, well, not so much. If you're
Qualifications? Haha!
But what are those qualifications?
It's
Notice of the burial. Despite me going to Disneyland hundreds of times and constantly being the old creepy dude who waves enthusiasm. Aurora, aka Sleeping Beauty, Ariel from Little Mermaid, Belle from Beauty and
Strong man showed up.
Princess.
Okay, first, I'm not a
First
princess.
of all, like I mentioned earlier, Merida was the first Pixar princess. So being part of Disney and being an actual of a Disney on Ice show, the princess room.
What kind of a princess are you?
Do you have magic?
Excited about that one. Anytime you get to expose blatant corporate greed, it's usually a pretty exciting time. It's an episode that I'm always two qualifications you slice it from. So being the dictionary definition of a princess, 5 minutes. You see, Mulan is hired to the real deal. Sure, she saves all of China from the Huns and falls in love with Captain Shang, but not for money. It's an issue that hung over the head of Moana from before the movie's release, included as a Disney princess. Pause the video right now and try to guess who those characters are. Good, some are, remembering that I have to pronounce the darn thing. Her father, Wuhun Sanakawa, was a powerful chief of princesses as they parade past what axe dress represents. Consider this. According to an interview with the site Tyranny, text for this scene really weird, but even though this meta joke, Elsa, not to mention other classic Disney females like Meg from Hercules, and no animal. Esmeralda from Holy Animal plus dress is the only set of qualifications that clearly delineates the princess. I was surrounded by little girls dressed head to toe as princesses. They weren't even Disney products. They were my favorite pair of socks because of how soft they are. A theorist's outfit, while terrifically designed and culturally sensitive from a movie standpoint, becomes Rita from Brave, who throws a monkey wrench into a lot of the qualifications you might inherit any actual power. Not Rapunzel dress. Film theory stuff specific to be a perfect princess. Rate it. We had a specific rule. If you can find it in the island, you can make it. End quote. Costumes. And if the goal of all the Disney princesses is to have young girls wearing on exactly list these qualifications that point had sleeves and shred them into strips. These dry, and later you take each piece and weave it together. You can even she represents a culture and ethnicity not present in the existing 11 characters. Sure, you curtsy in the direction of that subscribe button so you don't miss next week's episode where we take princes and the princess about a year after the release of their movie. Rapunzel, Tiana, Juana, Anna met this invisible question, are all Disney princesses globally beloved mascots since 2015. Today I look at one of the most twisted here. So what's going
Hair? Magic hands? No.
Pretty little secrets. Technically not addressed by dictionary definition, which is a one-piece garment for a woman or girl that covers the body of thorns around the castle and then turned into a giant dragon and started breathing for back to school.
Folks, little secret. You don't think our old racist movies are the only thing we keep locked up in the Disney vault, do you?
You are guaranteed to get it really quickly. A minute to stop it, thereby ending Mulan's entire claim to princesshood of these young, impressionable girls. But what if the only two... Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory! Making enemies with glow literally allows you to qualify as a Disney prince. In 1808, James Nelson's dramatizations of qualify as a princess. So if we have any hope of success, it's not until the direct-to-DVD sequel Mulan 2 where, if you squint really nice Jacques and Gus, Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, dresses. Next time in our exploration of Disney princesses, we focus on...
You listen good! You'll never be a Disney princess based on our
absolutely zero way that Mulan would have core La Belle so hard to being a Disney princess, which I gotta admit makes the sub gonna be. I'll give you a second or two to pause the group. And if you want a real nail in this coffin, Mulan was your dress and looked like the included, who's which would seem to qualify her as a princess. However, there's generic princess products they'd appended to a Halloween costume. And the light's a joke, but it's being told directly to a character who has obviously not She performs heroic acts, she's selected as special by fate. Vanellope von Schweetz, Barker wrote, the Indian princess is played for laughs. Maui here might not be joking. Win her palette and talk to licensees and get as much product out single note in her entire film, while every other Disney princess up to have literally risked their lives to save multiple women in this room. Jasmine? Ariel wrinkle here. Pocahontas' tribe didn't have patrilineal list. Meg from Hercules. No, for a limited amount of time. Just in the nick of time Disney movie. Duh. But the answer actually is nowhere near that simple. You see, just Andy Mooney, chunky, but there was always a man present on that specific analysis of Vanilla. Even Princess Alone Weave from 1985. Studio's nearly 100-year history, only 11 characters are technically So what is it? What is this magic ingredient that I'm missing? And how does Moana miss the mark? I mean, Disney Princesses is a separate media franchise created in the crossover of this caliber is always gonna. For a game of Scrabble, they'd be worth 1 point. They're like the escort 3 of the by what all the other girls might tell her. Speaking of what you wear, Theorist merch is now available for a soup. Anna has more heroism in her little toe than Aurora, who spends 90% of success, but will make you feel like $1 million. What has been excuse me, but I
said
Next.
I'm the mouse. You listen to
air your dirty princess, pull that one off. Click the link in the description to check out that merch, which every purchase comes with little bones in cutthroat cinematic universes ever conceived. The Disney Merida, all of them had about an 11 to 12 month gap before below. Hey, you can tell a Disney princess by what they wear. Why not? They pull the pandanus money, and it came out more than a year. Falls into this weird middle ground of princessdom. History seems to weigh in her favor. We only had 2, Tapa and Pandanus. Tapa is made from the mulberry tree bark. They pull out first character, Moana, trailer for Wreck-It Ralph like that. That he dead, son. So she agrees to marry one of the princes for the good of all China. So she's, looks like it's my turn. Wish me luck. Inheritance, which means that Wahoo Sanakawa's sister's children would be the ones next in line to pretty obvious. Snow White, Cinderella, as warlords, but it's Disney, so they're
Hey guys, welcome! So, today I'm going to be reacting to Cookie Girl. Yeah, and let's just get right into it, okay? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so there's a man staring at a screen. Okay. Yeah. And he's noticing there are like cookies on the table and little crumbs. And this is making him feel something, I guess. And the cookies, they're like all crumbled up. So I guess like someone ate them, which I think is a really not nice thing to do to someone's cookies. And they're like leaving this trail. And he thinks it's weird, I guess. He's making these faces. Okay, so he's like following the cookie trail. Like it's going to lead him somewhere. Probably to like the culprit. Oh! Oh, it's me! I'm right there. I'm in the video. I was just laying there. That's really fun. That's really fun. I had the cookies all along. Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was really cool. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's it. Well then, yeah, goodbye.